Welcome to Travel Weekly TV, where we go behind the scenes speaking to the industry's heavyweights. I've got Jeff from Coral Expeditions. Jeff, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Hoda. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit more about you, Jeff. What do you do?
So I'm the commercial director at Coral Expeditions. I've been with the company for 7 years now. We're a 40-year-old expedition cruise company, what we consider to be sort of true expedition cruise. My role as commercial director covers sort of a broad church of sales, marketing, reservations. Talk a lot to governments around the country because we operate on a national precinct, and also product development. So kind of imagining with the team where the next adventures that we'll pioneer are going to be.
So what got you into this?
My background over the years has been hotels. So I spent 20 odd years sort of moving around in hotels. I then transitioned into tourism, spent some time in Cairns with Tourism Queensland and really enjoyed that destination sort of management environment. Did a stint with major events, running sort of marathons and triathlons with Ironman, and
are you an Ironman yourself?
I've done a couple of the half
Really?
distance ones, so not the full badge, but
You've got to show us some photos. We'll put this one up.
There you go. Men in lycra, always scary.
Not at all.
Very scary. So I sort of finished with Ironman and had some connections in Cairns, and Coral Expeditions has been a sort of a foundation tourism business up there in Cairns over the decades. So I was really pleased to get the opportunity to go and work with them. I came on board at a time that we were building a new fleet and starting to sort of build out our marketing and sales team to basically take that new fleet to market.
With expeditions, I feel like there's a lot out there. So can you tell us a little bit more about expeditions? How are they different than anything else?
Yeah, so for decades they were the best kept secret in cruise and travel. Really, they were mostly heard about through word of mouth. The spirit of an expedition is to take sort of small groups of people, mostly people who are like-minded, and to take them to places that you can't get to by sort of road or rail or plane. Over the last 5-6 years they've become more popular, lots more activity in shipbuilding from some of the major sort of cruise lines. Our view really is that authentic or true expeditions still maintain that early spirit of not being too flash. It's about connecting people with the nature and the culture and the kind of the history of that place and the people who are living in that place.
It's very important.
Oh, super important.
Yeah.
To not overwhelm those communities, to visit in a respectful manner, to kind of leave with knowledge that you didn't have before you went there. So, we're kind of very focused as a company on continuing to deliver that authentic experience, and we think that there's still that will differentiate us and a number of small lines, from a lot of the newer product that's coming into that space.
Speaking of what sets you apart, actually, is there something that the travel trade does not know about Coral Expeditions and you?
Yeah. No, good question. No, I guess what people might not know is just the scale of our business. So we've got 3 modern vessels. So we're the largest Australian flagged passenger fleet, and with that, to me the really interesting fact is we have about 240 seafarers, and we're the largest employer and trainer of skilled seafarers in Australia. So people can
unique selling point there.
Yeah, look, it is. It's people can join with us as a cadet, and they can move through all of the levels of marine qualifications right the way through until they were to get a Masters Unlimited. All of those tickets, can be achieved on board with Coral. So it's
great.
Yeah, and it's quite a special thing that happens on board because you've got young seafarers coming in and kind of growing and being trained. This culture and this pride is happening on the vessels, but because you've got such a small number of guests, the guests become really involved in it. So a lot of our return guests, are actively involved in following the progress of, a young seafarer who, ends up sort of in 6 or 7 years being the first mate, or we've got some great examples of, of masters and captains having come from the very beginning with coral.
Oh, that's very special.
Yeah,
and to be able to give them that opportunity as well is very, very special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your team. How big is the team and where are you based?
So head office is in Cairns.
Yep.
That's where the company was founded. We've grown quite a bit over the last few years. Take aside the sort of the interruption of COVID and the impact on travel, but we've grown with the new fleet. We've got a team of 50 up in head office. And our job really up there is to support the ships and the crew and the guests on the ships. So we've got about 240 seafarers, which makes us sort of the team size is a little over 300. So it's a big Australian business.
Okay, fantastic. Is there a particular travel experience that really sticks out to you outside of what you do?
Yeah, good question. I've from a young age, I've been somebody who's collected travel experiences instead of kind of property or wealth. So I look back.
It's an expensive hobby, though.
Yeah, it is. But it's I've always found that it makes for adventure and kind of gives you a good perspective.
Absolutely, that's why we're in travel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse that.
So look, I think some of my fondest travel memories, are often the most kind of raw. So I have great memories of camping and sort of fishing with the family around Fraser Coast in Queensland. That was kind of our annual pilgrimage, through to...
It's beautiful there.
Oh, gorgeous spot. Yeah, I've travelled, kind of as a surf enthusiast to lots of places around the world, and spent time in Portugal and through the Maldives and Indonesia surfing, which were great. And then more recent, as you get a little bit older, some of the best, more recent trips have been, I like places that you can get a real cultural immersion. So we recently went to Morocco. I found that fascinating. Sort of a couple of years before COVID, we were in Croatia and sort of hopping around. So, to me, places that have history, but also make you kind of stop and think, you see a different cultural way of living. I love that.
Yes, yeah. Morocco is a very special one because it is completely different than the Western society that you tend to live in, and you go there and it's a different air quality, it's different scent and colours and people. It's a beautiful place. Yeah,
I often thought, there's a number of places that we would drive up to and you'd sort of look over and it's either a white city or a rose city or a blue city. And you kind of, as you get in there, and if you were to turn that inside out, it's like a kaleidoscope of just colour and noise and busyness and fun.
I love it. That's the beauty of travel. Yeah. It just teaches you so much. And it goes to the point that you said you actually have to educate through travel, because those memories stick with you, and your fondest memories are always the ones you learn things from.
Oh, absolutely. I think that authentic, anywhere that you can go and visit, that you leave feeling a bit richer and a bit wiser than when you went there. That's the magic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about where travel agents can find out more. How do they get in touch with either yourself or your team?
Yeah, look, so we're there. One of the beauties of our office is that we're here. We're in Australian time and basically ready to serve. Through the history of the company, we've always had a very strong relationship with travel agents and made ourselves accessible there. We're a small team, but for us, the best thing that an agent can get from us is content and basically for us to help unpack the experience so that they know about coral and what we do, have a sense of how different we are, and then can match up the right clients with the right crews. And I think more and more these days that's the important. There's more options out there, and just making sure that people's interests are matched up with the right product.
And do they go on the website, or do they call a BDM?
Yeah, look, a mixture of both. I think most people are shopping around. We give travel agents some great tools through the website. So images and expedition logs and video and all of the kind of the
Put that all on camera.
Yes, yeah, exactly, exactly.
And his mobile number. Call him directly.
Yeah. So and then yeah, for the we're more recently we've been running some webinars where trade can bring their guests in and we give them access to our experts because nothing sells it better than to hear from somebody who's actually been there, sort of done that, and to add some of the words to the glossy pictures that go with these amazing destinations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think expedition and cruising, they tend to go hand in hand quite well now, and there's a lot of people that know quite a lot about it now. But what's something that's a bit of a controversy or myth, really, around expedition cruising?
As I said before, it was expedition cruising was kind of the best kept secret. I think, our philosophy is that it's always about the destination and it's not about the ship. So I think there's a race out there in this market to present luxury, and sometimes it can be quite contrived. So more time ashore and seeing nature and ticking off the species count is much more important than the thread count or the number of dining options that are there, or which particular bubbles am I drinking tonight. Like it's and I think there's a market for everything, but I think where the market is getting a bit confused in the current environment is more at that kind of contrived luxury. Whatever you buy into in the luxury market, and there's a lot of growth in the luxury market, you still have to, at the end of the day, for spending those dollars, the guest has to come back feeling good about it, because otherwise it's all replaceable and interchangeable. So I think that's where we feel that there's a little bit of confusion, and there's certainly a lot of entrance in the expedition cruise sector.
Both expedition and luxury, actually, both of them hand in hand also.
Yeah, and I think a lot of luxury brands are tagging themselves as being expedition. Really, once you get, our view is that once you get sort of beyond 100, 120 guests, the ability to take everybody to shore and do it in a way that's immediate without having a roster system, sort of that spans across 6 hours to get people ashore, and to not overwhelm communities. I think that the larger, anything above that, you're smaller than a cruise ship, but are you an expedition ship? Possibly not. That might be controversial.
Heard it here first. Well, thank you so much for joining us at Travel Weekly TV. Thank you for making the time to come in and see me.
Thank you, Hoda. I appreciate it very much.
And thank you for watching Travel Weekly TV.